All right, there was this Persian king in the Bible named Nehemiah. Nehemiah, he was him and his boys, men, whatever you want to call them. They come under attack by the Babylonians in the Bible, and their wall, which protected them from the Babylonians, it fell. So God instructed Nehemiah to rebuild the wall. And in order for him to rebuild this wall, he had to have all his men come together as a team to rebuild this wall for God's glory and to protect them from the Babylonians. So, bottom line is, you have to work together as a team. We all have a thing to do in this little jigsaw puzzle called life. And Friday night or any other night, it don't have to be Friday night, any other night, you have to play together as a team or you'll fall as individuals. I mean, you've been saying it all summer long, all year long for that matter. You've been sitting there saying our goal is to win the region. Win the region. Win the region. We're the favorites to win the region. Well, I think it's time for y'all to stop doing the talking and get out there and do the walking on Friday night because you ain't going to get nothing accomplished talking about it. You got to get out there and do it. Now, let's be physical. Let's go hit Salina, and let's win this football game and win the region that you boys have earned. You've earned it. You've already won the first 5, and the only team standing in your daggum way is Salina. Now, get out there and earn this game. That's all I got to say.
Hey, coming to you live from Studio G in Hickman, Tennessee. I'm Rusty B.
And this is Paul Martin, and you're in the huddle. Hut.
All right, Paul.
Speaking of in the huddle, I am sporting my in the huddle hoodie today.
He's got the in the huddle. Hold it up here where we. I mean, you didn't have to stand up and all, but you know.
All right. Here you go. In the huddle hoodie, folks. I might even wear it to the ball game tomorrow night to represent.
And he'll sell it to you, autographed, game worn.
No, actually, I don't think I'll sell you mine because.
Are you serious? You talking about $100 item there, Paul?
I like this. I like this item right here. I'm wearing.
We can make another one for $100
because it's pretty warm.
Yeah,
pretty warm.
We probably need it Friday night. It's supposed to be rainy and cool. Might need a little poncho. We'll see.
But it's pretty warm nonetheless, and I do like it, and I do like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I think Reno Bun, he's got some intel on where to get the best ponchos and prices. If you want to get a hold of him,
right?
He knows where to get the ponchos on the cheap. This is where he does his grocery shopping. So we'll probably hear from him here in a little while.
But looking back on last week,
not a good week last
week. I think it'd be critical that we put that in our rear view mirror and move ahead because
I agree,
because that's the past and you got to leave the past. You got to leave the past in the past.
I don't like to make up excuses, but there's always a cause and effect, always. And I think maybe for one, fall break sure didn't help none. That and the kids were practicing early in the mornings, and you kind of get in a routine. And the one thing I learned in the military is you get in a routine. You do the same thing every day. And, I think we kind of got out of that. And, it may have had an effect on it, but you don't know. It's hard to tell. Things like that.
Just got to get more physical.
So the whole routine gig could have, it could have played a part in it. And, you just hit the nail on the head, too, as far as... no matter what happens, what you do through the week, come Friday night, when they turn the lights on, it's time to play football. And part of football is being physical. And, we've shown a little bit of physicality this season, but not typical of Gordonsville football. And me and you had talked about this also. It used to be people would fear coming to Gordonsville to play football. And it seems like they don't anymore. And a lot of that has to do with playing physical. And I understand. We
have to get back to that.
I agree 100%. I think, and it's not really that you have to, you're not out there trying. I guess you could essentially say you're trying to rip people's heads off, but you got to hit people on every play. You can't take a play off. That you
and our
win.
teams in the past, teams in the past always did that. When a game
You
to game,
win.
we might have won or we might have lost, but we always hit
That's
people.
right. When I refer to this game a lot. We lost to Hartsville my senior year. But you know what? When they walked off the field, every one of them boys had their head down. Half of them was limping. And we had our heads held high and got beat. And, you know, there's no shame in that. That's one of my proudest games, and we got beat. One of the best games we ever played, and we got beat on the scoreboard. But physically, we beat them boys until they were purple. Well, they're purple and yellow. We beat them black and blue, you know. So
and I think our boys would hold their head a lot higher if they went out there and they put a complete game together and know that no matter what that scoreboard reads, they've hit them boys for 4 quarters and never quit hitting them.
Right. We never had no superstar athletes, big, you know, other than we had Stacy Woodard was our quarterback, and he was just a sophomore then. And, you know, he just got better over the years. But, I mean,
of course, y'all had Leslie Woodard, too, didn't you?
Well, he was one of the younger guys. But I'm talking about my senior class and a couple of the juniors. We only
What about Rusty George? Was he on y'all's team?
No, I was before that. Just a year or so before that. Not long, but I graduated in 97. The 96 season is when I played.
So y'all had Stacy Woodard and...
you know, we went, what? We won 6-7 ball games and got beat by Hartsville, Carthage.
BGA
beat us in the playoffs, of course. They had a stud at running back that went on to the NFL, Troy Fleming. And then a team that was supposed to beat us that didn't. You know, that's where you find out whether you played football or not. The teams that are supposed to beat you and don't, that's because you out physical them.
Yeah, at the end of the year.
And that was Westmoreland. We took them to triple overtime and beat them.
At the end of the year,
you know?
people when they look back over your season, they're not going to really look back as much over who did you beat and who did you not beat. They're going to look at those teams and they're going to say, well, they beat this team, but they supposed to. They beat that team, but they supposed to. But they didn't. But were you really going to earn your paycheck or earn your living or earn your
credibility?
Your credibility, I guess, is those teams that you beat that nobody said you'd beat. That's the ones that you'll get your credibility.
Yeah, and you know the way
kind of like Joe Burns. A lot of people probably picked us not to beat them, and we did.
Yeah, the way I said, I think we've lost to some good football teams. Jackson County, by all means, had a good running back, but having one kid on the field, and we've got several good athletes. I think maybe
we let one slip away. Honestly,
I think we gave one away.
And then the Watertown game, I think we definitely let that slip away too.
Yeah. It's just one of them things that you look back on and think of some things you should have done different. But like you said, that game's behind us now. It's time to move forward. Looking back at that game, what could we have done different?
Run the ball more.
I agree with that 100%. You know,
hit number 28 more.
You need to hit that kid every play. He was a tough kid. And every now and then one of them's going.
And I actually heard a report after the game that the one time we hit that kid late in the game, I think we re-injured him. We re-injured him. He may be out for another few games. Yeah. So we finally hit him, and he gets hurt again.
Yeah, but he laid down basically when he got hit finally. So I mean, if we'd have done that for 4 quarters, then they'd have been beaten from the start. You do it from the first whistle, and there you go. So when it's all said and done, we got beat. Nothing you can do about it now, except look forward and get better. And
my preacher said last night in his sermon, he said, think about it like this. You pay a bill, he said, you don't look back in your rear view mirror after you pay that bill. You move forward to the next bill. So that's essentially what we've got to do Friday night. We've got to move past the Jackson County bill, and we got to move on to the Salina bill.
Well, the mortgage is due Friday night on the season.
That's right.
On what you've worked for. It's coming up. But no, I think all in all against you was talking about running the ball more. Maybe we should have run it more. We threw the ball a whole lot. And of course when you play from behind, you know,
we probably wouldn't ever been behind if we'd been running from the start.
I agree with that. We got down inside we got to the 5. And
I mean, we had a good drive. I mean, granted, our running back did fumble on the 5-yard line, but I mean, who don't make mistakes. This is a world where ain't none of us perfect. So
that's right.
So I mean, he got you to the 5-yard line. Why would you give up on him?
Well, our defense didn't play bad in the first quarter. We didn't play terrible, and giving up a touchdown ain't it's not the end of the world. When you give up 4 or 5, it starts getting you put yourself in a hole. And I think for the most part we had 2 fumbles early on, and our defense was on the field for quite a long time.
And that's a recipe for disaster when your defense got to play chase for a long time.
We've talked about that previously on the show. When your defense, the longer they're on the field, it's a lot harder physically to play defense than it is offense. As far as physically demanding on you, wearing you out. So that sure didn't help. And I think the game plan from the get-go with us, we got one of the best running backs in the state. It's time to control the clock. Right, control the clock with the running game.
Absolutely, because that's just our identity. That's who we are.
When you play a set of pool, you're playing a pool race to 9 or 11 or whatever the race is to.
You got to play to your strengths.
You control the table. The goal is to control the table. You don't give him opportunities, right?
I don't know. Most time I rode the 9 though.
Well, I'm just saying the strategy move is to play a little defense, and don't.
Yeah, to try to get all the ball in hands you can get, and then roll the 9 every chance. My strategy.
Yeah. Well, you don't give him the opportunity to score. And in football, the way to do that is if you have the football. They can't score if you got the football.
Well, that's true. And like in pool, if you got the table, then they really have to sit there and watch.
You just let them sit there and watch you go, and those 3 or 4 yards at a time is devastating. We talked about that last week at Joe Burns. That last drive, it was mentally tearing them boys. It was breaking them down, and it did break them down.
Yeah, and the sad part about it is against Jackson County, the old blues song that we like, we had to have it played for us last week, didn't we?
Yeah. We didn't really play with the effort that I'd like to have seen Friday night. I think that had a lot to do with it.
We want to get back to effort.
I think it was
Friday night.
I think it was the combined factor when you take. Let's just say we take the practice routine was kind of jumbled, which I'm not saying is the root cause of it, but it could have played a factor. The fall break, of course, that doesn't help as far as getting out of your daily routine. And then the third factor is we started off running the football, and then once we fumbled, we started throwing it, and then our receiver fumbled. And then we just got behind and got into throwing mode, And I think we kind of went away from our strength as far as that goes. And then our defense stayed on the field a lot. And
Do you think another thing that might have hurt them maybe is that the fact that they might not have been in school and they might not have been together, but maybe that little hour or two of the morning and all day they were with their families more or less, and they didn't really see their teammates a lot during the fall break.
It could.
Could that have played a factor?
I think fall break.
That they didn't really see each other a lot, and maybe that week they didn't have their teamwork down pat or something.
Yeah, I think fall break had a lot to do with it. I really do. But you know what? There's no fall break this week. We're back in school. Got no excuses.
Right.
What would we have done different? Win. That's what I'd have done different. We'd have won, wouldn't we? If you was playing, we'd have won, wouldn't we, Paul?
I don't know. I'm out of shape now.
I mean, if you were in your prime.
Yeah, we'd have won.
Yeah.
We did used to.
Well, regardless, Jackson County, we talked about it. Doesn't have a whole lot as far as playoff implications. We got those. We're going to talk about those coming up here in just a minute. Anything else you got to add on Jackson County other than we sucked it up and?
Well, I mean, it wasn't one of our better efforts, and we already know that. But like I say, we're gonna look past that.
Well, Paul, we
move ahead in the mirror and move forward.
We've talked about this earlier too, and me and you, we kind of come to an agreement. If we don't see the effort this Friday night, we're gonna make the long trek up to Salina and see the Mennonites. If we don't put forth the effort, we're just gonna go stop at Dairy Queen on the way home about the second quarter maybe.
Yeah,
and just head on back.
Yeah, I mean, if we come down,
we can.
If we drive all the way down there, and then it just looks like we're not running the kind of plays that we ought to be running to our strength, and we're just gonna turn the old van around and come right back to G-Town.
Yeah, we'll go out and we'll stop and watch a movie and cook or something. We'll have to do something.
Right.
We want some entertainment.
Yeah, we might go watch it.
Yeah, no, I'm not watching no scary. I got high blood pressure.
Well, what kind of movie is on if
I don't know if there ain't no
turn around?
If there ain't no comedies, we'll do something else. We'll go bowling. You like to bowl?
I'm not athletic enough for that, and plus
you can just roll a ball.
Plus, I'm horrible at it.
I'm terrible too, but I can roll a ball.
Well, but anyway, we hope that
regardless.
We hope this is not what we have to do. So run the ball,
run the football, and play with effort. Play hard.
We're coming to watch a football game. We don't want to have to turn around. So run the ball and do what we do, and let's go win.
I'm going to watch a fight and hope a football game breaks out. That's what I'm going to. So anyway, we'll be right back. You're watching in the huddle. Hut.
Hey, this is Paul. You reached in the huddle.
Hey, Paul, man. Reno Bun here. Calling in to tell y'all. Heard you talk about the Mennonites. Gonna tell you about my uncle Leroy Bun. Now Leroy was an Amish. He was Amish and got shunned. You know how they shun you if you don't go to church or whatever. He used to lay around and get drunk on the corn whiskey and kind of kicked him out. And but he was an Amish. He was an old Amish war hero. You know, and just still got shunned. You know, don't care much about their veterans in the Amish community. I tell you what, he used to tell me all kinds of jokes and stuff about the Amish, you know. He told me one time why the Amish don't water ski. And he said they've tried it, but the horses drowned and couldn't figure out how to water ski and stuff. But anyway, you know why they don't wear sleeveless shirts? The Amish don't wear sleeveless shirts, you know. They don't like to bear arms, you know, so they don't wear nothing but they don't wear the sleeveless shirts or whatever. Anyway, he used to tell me all the time. He said, look, speaking of Amish, you can go out there at Amy's Gordonsville Drugs, and get you some of that Amish honey, apple butter or whatever, the apple butter. I think you put that on just rub that on your biscuits, and that's some pretty good stuff. So if you're ever out there by Gordonsville Drugs, not only does she got the best drugs in town, a lot of opioids, but she has got the best Amish churn butter. Just churn it up and go in there and tell her to churn it up. That's how they listen to the radio. They say churn it up, you know, and that's just how they do it, you know. Some of them sound like Leonard Skinner. If they was Amish, it wouldn't have been turn it up. It would have been churn it up, you know. So anyway, the Amish band, Leonard Skinner Amish band, churns it up. Anyway, man, used to tell me all kinds of pickup lines for the Amish. And the first one, he said, this is how he met my granny Bun. He said, or my aunt Bun, Leola Bun. He said, it's how he picked her up. Is he went to the barn, you know, that's where they hung out, you know, kind of like a bar, but they put the inn on it. So they was hanging out at the barn, listening to music and stuff, folk music and stuff. And he says, hey, do you come to this barn often, you know? And that was probably the greatest pickup line ever for the Amish. But he said, I tell you what, another good pickup line is I own a lot of fertile land in Pennsylvania. You know, that's how you get... we talking about the Amish or the Mennonites, because I'm kind of confused. And I think they kind of the same people. But my Uncle Leroy was Amish, real similar to the Mennonites. And that's how why he divorced my Aunt Leola, is that she was hanging out with two Mennonites. So he divorced her. But anyway, he told her that night at the barn, "Did you come to this barn often?" And, you know, she said, yeah, I tell you what, you come by the house about 8, and you bring some fresh buttermilk, and we'll just sit quietly around my large family. And that's kind of how they got started. But anyway, man, Amish make the best butter, apple butter you can get on the planet. So I suggest you go out there. You don't have to go all the way to Selena to get this stuff. Now you can go right over here to Amy's Drugs in Gordonsville. Tell you want some apple butter that's been churned up by the Mennonites or the Amishes, and they'll fix you up. But hey, I'm gonna get off here. Got some biscuits in the oven right now, and about to go off. Need to go over and get them before they burn. And I'm gonna holler back at you boys. Hey, go Big Blue.
All right, welcome back to In the Huddle.
Hut. All right. Paul, big game coming up Friday night
against Selena.
I forgot all about that, but that.
We are playing Selena, the girly girls.
Yeah.
They call themselves the Bulldogs, but I think they've turned into poodles.
I hope so. Selena's got they got an opportunity Friday night, same as we do. The winner of that game, they got a lot riding on that game. The winner of that game is going to walk away region champs.
It's it's Selena's first time to win a region in who knows how long.
It's been a long time. I don't know that they've won it in years. I could be wrong.
But Selena used to be a tough place to play, and I'm sure they'll bring some of that back.
When I played, they always had some big kids.
And they still do.
And going to Selena or whatever, I would probably bring this up, but that's probably my worst high school memory was on our way to Selena. We had a car try to pass the bus, and actually they had a wreck, and a guy had been drinking, and they hit head on right beside our bus, right outside the window I was sitting out, and a man lost his life. And we were late to the game. I think we were over an hour late to getting to the game. And it was bad.
But they didn't count a forfeit on y'all though, did they?
No, we played the game. We didn't get over with till about 11 o'clock. But that was one of the worst memories I had. We actually won in overtime. Might have been 2 overtimes that we won, and we should have beat them pretty handily that night. That would have been
but y'all were still a little tore up over what you seen going to the game.
That was my junior year in high school. Yeah,
you think that could have been why y'all didn't go away because y'all were tore up after what you'd seen?
We were pretty distraught. I mean,
you can imagine a young kid going to a ball game and seeing these cars clash right beside their bus and people dying. Right?
It was a tragic day, and I'll never forget it. Is that why
y'all were late? Y'all had to wait on the accident to get cleaned up?
That no. We were actually witnesses to the accident and had to do accident reports.
Y'all had to get out and give reports and stuff?
We didn't. I think the coaches did that. But this is back before cell phones, So, and I remember a house sitting up on the hill.
What year was this?
This was 1990. I think it was 1995. And, this is before cell phones, so you couldn't really pick up the phone, dial 911. I just remember Coach Wills got off the bus and run up to the house, the nearest house, which was 200 yards up the hill. And, went in, and of course, luckily somebody was home, and they called 911 or whatever, but it was, it was too late for the one guy. And, it always bothered me because the one that was doing the drinking and driving and passed our bus is the one that ended up walking away, and then the innocent man that was headed home from work
died,
ended up passing away. So
that was kind of hard to watch.
It was really hard to watch, and maybe nothing like that'll happen, on the way up Friday night.
Now maybe that's why this Selena has this dark, gloomy ghost town.
I think that's just Selena. Not a lot of light poles in Selena, not a lot of electricity.
That's the way I've always seen Selena, just dark, eerie,
gloomy town.
Ghost town, more or less.
Yeah, I don't really like going up there. I don't. But
we got to go up there and finish our business.
We've been going there for years. They've been coming here for years, and it's time to play football. So anytime they turn the lights, I don't care where it's at. I want to be there.
Even if it's dark, gloomy lights.
Even if it's dark and gloomy. They got a nice field now. They got one of the nicer fields we're going to play on.
Yeah, they turned the old Cowmaster into some
that's
numbers.
That's right. Not a lot of bleachers up there. but not bad.
Well, how's the fences looking? Because that's usually where I'm at.
They're not bad. They're not bad. I mean, you're going to have a good little view no matter where you're at.
I tell you, folks, I hadn't been to Salina since I got out of high school, so this is going to be a rare
You didn't go
visit.
with us last year. We played there last year too.
This is going to be a rare visit for us, and I remember y'all talking about it last year on our show. Old Pat Warren, that was the place where old Paul Bunyan, Andre the Giant tried to get Pat. So Pat, be careful with the booms and bangs because we already had trouble with them last year.
Well, if Pat needs us, I'll volunteer to go stand at the door and guard it.
He may need you because old Andre come after him last year.
Yeah, I try to remain calm and just diffuse the situation, but maybe Pat's gonna get in trouble. That's all there is to it.
Pat.
He's gonna holler bang.
He just can't control the bangs and the booms.
Yeah. He did pretty good at where was we at? Republic. Yeah, he did pretty good.
You better keep calm, Pat, because them people up at Salina, they girly and they get a little girly temper.
Yeah, maybe wearing a bulletproof vest or something wouldn't hurt.
But I'm telling you, they won't pay back because we come up there last year and old Andre the Giant was so mad about the bangs and the booms. He said, "I'll show y'all boys. We're gonna put the bangs and the booms on y'all this year."
We might ought to take some extra shoulder pads and helmets to put on Pat, Keith, and John that night.
Yeah, they might. Y'all might need some shoulder pads because it got pretty physical up there last year.
Probably
with the fans even.
Probably more physical up there than it did on the field last Friday night. What do you think?
Yeah.
It had to be.
Yeah, but I just wanted to bring that up, Pat, that last year, old Andre about got you, so you might want to wear you some shoulder pads, helmets, and some protection.
Well, I think Pat'll be all right. Maybe he'll calm down. And
no booms and bangs.
Yeah. If I have to go get him out of jail, we'll go get him.
All right.
Regardless, though, we got a big game.
Why would Pat have to go to jail? Pat's the jailer man himself, ain't he?
Pat's liable. He's one of them guys, you know.
Pat's one of them guys that he'll bring the intensity.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them guys that's real quiet and don't ever say too much. You know, you don't want to mess with him.
No.
You know.
And Keith is another one where he can bring it if he needs to.
So you never know. Pat might surprise somebody. He's probably pretty quick. He's getting on up there in age, but he's still in shape, what I consider.
Right.
I mean, he ain't really put on the weight like every other man.
Right.
You know, so.
But y'all fool with Pat, you might be fooling with the bull.
Yeah. You can't ever tell. But regardless, we got a big game Friday night, and the winner is going to walk away region champ.
Which with that package is going to be a brand new car to Turney Ford Field. It's going to be a brand new Ford Mustang on Turney Ford Field, and then
I don't know about all that.
And then the second round, you're going to get a new Corvette with Whitwell's tags on it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
with some Whitwell tags.
Big playoff implications. First round. We would be looking that region's already been decided.
First round, we would be looking at the old Lookout Valley, right?
Lookout Valley.
Yeah.
South Pitt won the region. They beat Whitwell, not too terribly bad.
21-14.
Yeah, this is a real close game.
21-14.
They beat Whitwell.
And then Whitwell come into second because they only had one loss.
And then it was Copper Basin.
Third.
And then Lookout Valley.
So that means we either playing Copper Basin or we're playing Lookout Valley. There ain't no way around it.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing at home for the first round, guaranteed.
We got a home field guaranteed whether we win or lose. But we don't want to. We don't want to talk about losing. We're going to win this game.
That's right. We're going to win this game because that's what we do and that's what we work for all year. And we ain't letting this slip through. You boys get out there Friday night, run the ball, control the clock, and let's get us our W.
That's right. And anyway. First round, we would play Lookout Valley. Now the loser will play. It could be Clay County could possibly fall to third.
Well, essentially they'll have their second loss, and then that would put Joe Burns ahead of them. So yeah, they'd be third.
Yeah, they got this.
Joe Burns has the edge over them. If we beat them,
all this filled out. If you remember, we filled a bracket out 3 weeks ago. We had it nailed.
But we already know how this is going to work. If Red Bowling wins, Red Bowling's in. If Monterey wins, Monterey's in. But Monterey can't get no. Monterey can best they can do is third. But I mean,
Right.
As long as Joe Burns is winning, then Monterey would be the 4th seed no matter what.
Right.
But if they beat Red Bowling, they ain't even in. Bowling is.
Yep. They had it on here, though.
So the 4th seed's either going to be Red Bowling or Monterey, whoever wins that game.
We got some other regions that are toss-ups.
So question is, did Sunbright make it?
Sunbright, no. Sunbright will not make the playoffs.
Well, who got the 3rd and 4th seed in that thing?
Not 100%. I'm going to go look, though.
Who won Midway?
Because we had that figured out, that Sunbright only had one opportunity to get in.
Well, who won between Midway and Oliver Springs?
I was thinking Oliver Springs won that game. We're going to go look. We're going to let our love shine right here.
I just wondered who won Midway at Oliver Springs, because I told everybody on the show Midway would win, and you picked Oliver Springs, and I just wondered.
I don't remember.
Actually, I don't even think they played yet. I think Midway played somebody else last week.
Right.
So they ain't played yet.
I don't think they have.
Midway played some. Maybe they played Greenback or somebody last week.
All right. So right now, Greenback is the outright champions in Region 2. Region 1, let's just break down Region 1 is like this. They only had 4 teams in the region, so all of them made the playoffs. Cloudland, Jellicoe finished 2nd, Hancock County 3rd, and Unaka was 4th.
And Unaka only had, what, 1 win?
Right. Now, I think they had 2 wins, if I'm not mistaken.
How would no disrespect to the Unaka, whatever.
I don't know. They just
how would you like to play for a team and have a fan support thinking we're going to the playoffs, but
2 and 7.
we only got 2 wins?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like that 6A deal. I think they got 30. We got 32 6A teams or 24.
Don't know.
I can't remember. Anyway, all of them make the playoffs.
Everybody.
So.
Well then, what's the point of the season if you all know you're gonna go just for your seeding and everything?
Seeding, yeah. But regardless, Cloudland won that region, Region 1, which is they're in the upper northeast of Tennessee. So I mean, it's when you look at the 1A schools up there, they're the only 4 within a reasonable driving range that could possibly play each other. You see them getting that to group together.
Well, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a 4-team region being guaranteed a playoff
I like
spot?
about a 6-team
or do you
region.
like the 6-team like we got, where you have to compete? That way, when you get to the playoffs, you're more ready.
Yeah, I really like the 6-team, and I really like.
Or you have to earn a spot rather than have it give to you and not having to earn it.
Yeah, I mean you don't get anything in life not earning it, you know.
So you don't really like those 4-team regions where everybody's guaranteed a spot.
Anyway, we go to Region 2. There's Greenback is automatically the champ because they beat Coalfield, who actually has probably the better ball team. Coalfield's finished 2nd. Now, if Midway wins, they finish 3rd, and Oliver Springs will finish 4th. All right.
But if Springs wins, they're 3rd.
Right. Or if Midway has the win to be 3rd. Other than that, Oliver Springs is going to be 3rd. If Sunbright wins and Oliver Springs wins, then of course they're 3rd. Or if Unaka wins, which is then Oliver Springs would automatically get the nod because they would have one more region victory. But Oliver Springs wins, they're 3rd. Midway would be 4th. Midway wins, they're 3rd. Oliver Springs be 4th. So anyway, Sunbright, when they got beat last week, they knocked themselves out of the playoffs. So anyway, in Region 3, it's already been decided: South Pitt, Whitwell, Copper Basin, then Lookout Valley. All right, and then you go to us. It's
still up for grabs.
The winner will be the champ.
And then as you get down the bottom of the bracket, you got a little bit of turmoil because Monterey gets in with a win, Red Bowling gets in with a win, and Joe Burns' seeding depends on what Salina does. If Salina loses, Burns comes to 2nd. But if Salina wins, Burns would be your 3rd seed.
Well, there's other scenarios that if we win, Salina could still finish 2nd. If Pickett County wins or Monterey wins, Clay County would be 2nd.
So we could lose and essentially still get a 1 seed if the right stuff happens?
No, if we lose if we lose, we're going to finish second.
Right. What was that scenario you said about Pickett?
If we win, and then Pickett County wins, then they would Joe Burns would jump over Salina. Does that make sense?
Joe Burns is going to jump
Clay
over
County.
Salina.
Clay County would jump over Joe Burns.
If Pickett beats Burns,
if Pickett beats whoever they're playing Friday night, who do they play? Joe Burns.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And then Monterey, if Monterey could win, and Red Bowling could win. You see what I'm saying?
Red Bowling gets in if they win.
Yeah, Red Bowling would be in if they win.
And surprisingly enough, Joe Burns didn't really beat Red Bowling that bad. It was 20-7.
Right.
And I don't know if their big guys coming back again this week.
But anyway, Joe Burns has the potential to finish second, third, or fourth, depending on what happens. Now, Clay County could finish first, second, or third also. And Monterey can finish third or fourth. And then Red Bowling, they've got to win to get in.
And Red Bowling's best case scenario is a 4 seed.
Right. That's their best case scenario. So they got a lot to lose. Clay County could fall all the way to third,
How does that happen?
If Monterey...
Joe Burns wins, and Joe Burns wins.
Yeah, if Joe Burns wins and Monterey wins...
They go to third if they lose.
Right. So, I mean, Clay County could go from being region champs Friday night to third in one play. So they know what they've got to lose, and we've got to know what we've got to gain. So
yeah, I mean, I think you boys have earned this region all year by being 5-0 to this point, but it's still up for grabs though. I mean, you got to finish.
That's right. You've got to finish. Then moving on to Region 5, Cornersville's going to win that. Then Moore County. Then you have Fayetteville, more than likely going to finish third. And then you've got Franklin Grace that could slip in there.
I ain't never
or
heard
Mount
Franklin
Pleasant.
Grace.
Franklin Grace or Mount Pleasant, one should finish fourth.
Have you ever heard of Franklin Grace? I ain't never even heard of them.
No, it's probably one of them new, almost like a private school. Probably a new
What's their record
school.
for a new team?
I don't know. It doesn't say on here. We can find out. But
I don't really think they'll beat out.
Competing for fourth, I'd say it's not too great.
Mount Pleasant should come out because they've established themselves as a pretty good team.
Then you got Huntington will finish first in Region 6. We're familiar with them.
Yeah.
Then Collinwood or Wayne County will finish second or third, and I'm kind of leaning toward Collinwood in that. And a lot of people don't know they're big rivals. It's almost like a Gordonsville Carthage thing between Collinwood and Wayne County. Collinwood is actually in Wayne County, and it's they just both happen to be 1A schools, and it gets intense.
Is that the same region Dresden's in?
No, Dresden's in the next region. But anyway, second and third will be determined there between Collinwood and Wayne County, whoever wins those. And then Hollow Rock, Brewston, and McEwen will be playing for the fourth slot. Whoever wins is in. So,
which that should be Brewston, because Brewston usually takes care of that one.
Right. I don't know.
And Brewston had a pretty good team.
It's a different ball season. They did have a pretty good team. I don't know if they still got the big running back.
I don't know either.
I think he's gone now. But Dresden's going to finish Region 7 first. Lake County will be second. Then you're going to have it's 3 teams that could possibly finish third or fourth: Greenfield, West Carroll, or South Fulton. So those 3 teams will fill those last 2 spots, depending on who wins and whatever. Region 8, there's teams all over the board that can win that. Actually, Hillcrest or Westwood's going to win it, but you've got teams with question marks everywhere. Well, deep tiebreakers, because all of them have the same record, and it's probably one of the most competitive regions.
What region's that? Who all's in that region?
That's Region 8. You got Hillcrest, Westwood. One of them two's going to win it. Freedom Prep, KIPP, which is, I don't know, it's KIPP. I'm not 100% what the things mean. There's Memphis Middle College and Oak Haven, and all of those teams, it's going to be the deep tiebreaker rule if some crazy stuff happens. So that's the way it's going to go down there.
All right, let's give old Tanya Anderson a little love and tell her about how the Owls, the region's going to go,
let's see.
and go over there and get her Owls on the show just for our friends over across the river.
The Smith County Owls could still win the region.
All right, what's their scenarios?
If they have to win, of course, Friday night.
Which is against who?
I don't know.
Grundy
County.
And Grundy is
They're
back playing.
They are back playing. But then for Smith County to win it, Upperman has to win too.
Who they playing?
Don't know. Let me go find out.
Let's find that out for friends. Who Upperman's got to play?
Let's go look. Football. Go to schedules. It'll take me just a minute.
He's looking at that, but we're going to get that for you, Smith County fans.
Scores and stuff. Do you think we got any Smith County fans listening?
Well, Tanya listens.
Yeah, she does sometimes. She's family, though. I expect family to listen.
Well, then we're getting it on there for her, basically, and then maybe whoever else might be listening that wants to hear.
All right.
Some of her fans like to hear just so they can dog them.
Smith County plays Grundy and Upperman plays Sequatchie.
Ooh, rough game. Sequatchie's good.
That could be a rough game for them.
And for all y'all that remember, in the first game of the year, Sequatchie gave South Pittsburgh all they wanted. South Pitt only won 28-21, and the Owls they gave old Sequatchie a run for their money, but still lost. Like I forget, but they lost a close one.
Looking at that,
so Owls need a Upperman win in order and a win themselves to get the region.
If Sequatchie and Cannon County wins,
I don't see Cannon winning.
Sequatchie will finish first.
Well, what's the Owls going to finish? What's the Owl? What do you think the Owls will wind up being? A 2 seed maybe?
Cannon plays York, so I doubt they're going to win.
Do you see Owls maybe coming out a 2 seed?
All right.
Huh?
Let me go back to it. Smith County could finish as low as 3rd.
But where you see them finishing? About a 2 seed?
You know, it could go into the old deep tiebreaker rule again because you got question marks everywhere on this screen.
Well, what is their record if it comes down to all that? If they beat Grundy?
You know, I don't know.
Maybe 2 losses?
They need to beat Grundy, and then they would have a shot at the title. If Upperman beats Sequatchie, which Sequatchie, it's theirs to lose right now. If York wins and Sequatchie wins, then York will win though.
So what region is Carthage's guy? The people in that region playing out of? Who all are they matching up with?
Well, there's Cannon County, Sequatchie County, Upperman, Smith County.
That wasn't what I meant. I meant what teams out of what other region are they matching up with in the playoffs?
They're going to be just like us. They're going to play the Region 3, which
and
will
who's
be
in that?
Loudon or Red Bank is going to win that one. Whoever wins that game. They'll be first or second. Signal Mountain or Sweetwater will be the other 2.
So said Loudon, Red Bank, Sweetwater, and Signal Mountain are the ones they're playing out of?
Right.
So, but eventually you'll meet up with Alcoa and all their people, right?
Yeah, they're going to be coming out of Region 2.
Who all's in that region? Alcoa and who else?
Austin East always got a good ball team. Kingston and Northview Academy is going to be out of Region 2. But they'll match up with Region 1, which is never real strong. Chucky Doak's usually the best team there, and they don't have a good ball team this year. So,
but they're in the playoffs?
Johnson County. One of those teams up there has a real good football team, and I'm not 100% sure which one it is. It's one of them that's Austin East. That's going to be a ball game. Austin East and Alcoa Friday night.
Is that a regular
Johnson
season
County
game?
Is the team I was thinking of. We heard them talking about them on the radio here a couple weeks ago. They're undefeated, and they have been outscoring the heck out of their opponents.
And they're in the Alcoa region?
No, they're going to be playing the Alcoas in the playoffs. Right there in Region 1.
But they'll eventually match up with Alcoa probably?
Right.
And Alcoa is not undefeated. They've lost, what, 2?
2 games. As far as I know,
Who was that off team that beat Alcoa? Maryville beat them, and somebody else beat them. Who was that other team?
I don't know.
Somebody beat them by a point, I think.
Let's see. Corbin, Kentucky.
Oh, I think I've heard that name before. They are real good.
Yeah, 22-21. But yeah, Austin East has got a good football team too. So
they're undefeated.
They're 8-1. But
Who beat that team?
Let's go look. Fulton.
Knox Fulton.
So that's
how bad was the score?
20-14.
So it wasn't no blowaway.
Right. So Alcoa's gonna have their hands full Friday night.
With Austin East?
I think they will. I think it'll be a good game.
Is it at Austin East or at Alcoa?
Don't know. Let me just see if it'll show me. It will be at Alcoa.
Well, then add Alcoa in front of their crowd. Then I'll take the Alcoa Spinning Tornadoes.
Yeah.
In a close one.
So not a bad gig Friday night.
I'll take the Spinning Tornadoes 17-14.
The Tornadoes 17-14. Well, Paul, all I'm worried about right now is Gordonsville beating Salina. It's a huge game, and I hope them kids understand it, because it's, just like we talked about, time's running out for them young men to get out there and play football.
Well,
seniors.
I think we're going to control the clock, so I'll give us a 30. No. I'll give us a 42-14 win.
42-14.
Yeah.
Well, I made the prediction of about a 35-14 win. With if we play good, if we play like we did last Friday night, I'm gonna predict a 28-14 loss. So,
but it all comes down to how bad do you want it?
It's all up to them young men on the field. No matter what plays called or whatever, they still got to perform. And effort wins football games. Physicality wins football games. And I hope they understand that. Stop at the Mennonites. They got on your way to Salina, Mount Vernon community.
Salina.
Yeah. They got plenty of cheesy popcorn, homemade popcorn, kettle corn, all kind of stuff. You can stop up there and get you some goat's milk. They've got it. Of course, right now is harvest season, so they may not be. They're probably out cutting corn this time of year, and they may already have it all done. I don't know. Typically in the fall, they all come together and help each other, and that's teamwork. If you want to learn about teamwork, go up there and watch the Mennonites. I used to take my horses up there, and they'd put shoes on them. And you talking about even when they'd go to shoe a horse, it was teamwork, and they relied on the guy next to them to help them out. So when their house has got a leaky roof, they rely on their teammates to come help them, and that's the way it's done up there. And football teams should have a lot to learn from people like that. You're in deep thought. I mean, are you?
I was relating. I was thinking about that Bible story I told you guys about earlier, about where God told them to build the wall. Well, I didn't tell you guys the part of this story, but whenever the people would get done with their part of the wall, they go over and help the next people with their part of the wall, and it was a team thing all the way, and everybody would work together to get the wall built, and I think that's what it's going to take Friday night. Everybody working together. And
it's a collective effort on a football
When you get your man blocked, if your buddy's having problems with his man, just go hit him too.
Well, the offense relies on the defense relies on the offense, and the players beside each other rely on each other.
So you do.
If you've missed a block, tell your quarterback, right?
Yeah, if you miss a block and you get your quarterback sacked, pat him on the back and say, "That's all right, I'll pick you up. I'll just knock him down next play."
Well, you could let him know, hey, they're coming.
They're coming. Get rid of it quick.
That's right. Start telling your buddy, hey, look out.
Y'all might ought to come up with a magic word Friday night, and your quarterback ought to say, if you missed the block, holler, fire!
Holler something.
Just holler out the magic word.
Yeah, holler something.
Let him know he's got to throw it now.
That's right. It's a team effort. Anyway, Friday night, be there, going to Salina. Stop Dairy Queen, get your dilly bar. The Mennonites, if you want popcorn. Get your chili dog and the dilly bar.
And them Dairy Queens
we call it the dilly dogs.
Them Dairy Queens sure can put out the ice cream if you like ice cream.
They can. They got them blizzards. They're pretty good. We'll stop and get us one. You got me wanting a blizzard now.
Yeah, I like ice cream.
I guess we'll see you next week. We'll be talking playoffs.
That's right. And hopefully against Lookout Valley.
Hopefully. Thank you for watching.
Hoot hoot.
Hut.